140 pounds. That's what I've lost so far. I mean, that's how much my wife weighs. She'll probably kill me for saying that. It's a whole person. A whole person. In 14 months, all I did was change the way that I eat. Carnivore diet has changed my life forever. I just want to say thank you to the people who have spent their time making videos, making content. Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Anthony Chafee. There's just so many, right? Those are the ones that you guys will all see right away. Dr. Ken Berry. These are people who I researched in the very beginning. And a lot of people think that I did this to lose weight. But losing weight was just the byproduct of this. My biggest issue was that I had a lot of pain. I had a lot of inflammation. I'd gotten up to over 500 pounds. 500 pounds. And I just want to tell a quick story of how all this started. And there's some irony to this, which is that the thing that drove me to the carnivore diet was a vegan restaurant. And not by their fault. But I'll tell you a quick story. So in Christmas time of 2023, it was every year we travel to Raleigh. I have family in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I was at my heaviest. I did not feel good. I had, like I said, a ton of inflammation, and you know, it's the holidays too. So of course you're eating junk, you're eating sugar and all the crap that contributes to the inflammation. And there we were, my sister, who has consistently been aware of what she eats and you know, was trying to talk to me about well, not being vegan, but really moving more towards plant-based. And, you know, of course, that's what we're told since we're kids, right? We're raised, at least here in America, we're raised here that vegetables are the healthy option. We're told to make sure that you eat your vegetables. So anyway, fast forward, she wanted to go to this vegan restaurant that's in downtown Raleigh. And I said, yeah, you know, I'll be a team player. Let's go, right? I mean, hell, I love food, so why not? So anyway, we all jump in the car. As always, I usually am the chosen driver. Why? Well, because as a bigger guy, I didn't want to get in somebody else's car. I was always uncomfortable, especially if you had a small car. And so anyway, we drive downtown. And I see where the restaurant is. Literally, we pass the restaurant by, do one of these numbers, and there's no parking there. And I realize that the parking is way down the street in a big public parking lot in downtown Raleigh. And so, as always, the anxiety started to build up because I knew, one, that the inflammation was going to be killing me in my back. I'm carrying around all that weight, and I knew I'd be a sweaty mess. So my anxiety kicks in, we park, we have to make the hike up to the restaurant. In retrospect, by the way, it's not a bad hike, but when you're carrying around...
Searching for destinations. 1 moment, please.
Yeah. But when you're carrying around all of that weight and you're carrying around all that inflammation, it is a hike. And I did not want to do it. So anyway, lo and behold, we make the walk up to the restaurant. I stopped several times, you know, embarrassed, sweaty. I got to the restaurant, I'm out of breath. I went right into the bathroom and decided that I was going to, you know, wash up, try to clean up. couldn't seem to catch my breath. And there was a moment where I looked up and I saw myself in the mirror. And at that moment, I literally said to myself, what the fuck are you doing? You got to get a hold of yourself. It's easy to get lost in all of life, and just, it's easy to become addicted to food. You lose sight of how much you're neglecting around you. I neglected being a good husband. So I neglected my marriage. A good father, a good teammate at work. For those of you who don't know, I run my own media and marketing company, and my team relies heavily on me. And I didn't do really well at serving them. So I needed to really get my shit together. And it was then. It was right at that moment. I had already been doing some research, learned about the benefits of the carnivore diet with respect to how it would lower inflammation. And I thought to myself that was one of my biggest issues. The obvious is lose weight, feel better, eat healthy, lose weight, sure. But the idea that I wanted to be more active, I was always active as a kid. I played sports. I was always out and about. It was something that I really missed in my life. So that played a big part in my mental health as well. Just running a business, being a family member, being a good friend, all of that changed significantly as I continued to get more unhealthy. So it all came to a head in that one moment. And I was in a vegan restaurant when I decided I was going to go carnivore. And so I decided I would just get through the holiday, right? Like so many of us, for some reason, we wrap our head around this idea that I can't start till Monday. And I said, I can't start till the new year. And then the next thing became that right in the new year, I said, well, I can't be like all these other people who start on the 1st, January, essentially, and then they quit 2 weeks later. So on principle, I said, I'm going to wait a week or two. And I did. I waited, right? I continued to eat like I was, not quite as much, or I was probably a little bit more aware. But on the second week of January of 2024, I made the decision that day that I was ready for the change. And that was it. That was where I made the decision. So I started carnivore. First thing I did was, and I had learned a lot about the grass-fed, grass-finished beef and the value of looking for local farms, sourcing product that didn't eat grain, corn, all the crap that's in the feed that they give, big ag type animals. So I was aware of that, but I also understood that I was going to need to do a little bit more research for that. So I went to one of our bigger restaurant food supply companies. And the first thing that I did right out of the gate was purchase a full rack of ribeye, a full rack of New York strip, which, by the way, not necessary. I've learned so much since then. You can get a good chuck steak to taste just as good. That is not necessary to get such an expensive cut. I do enjoy it. Ribeye, by the way, hands down, ribeye is probably my favorite cut of meat. I could literally have that all day, every day. Maybe not all day. That's a part of what I'll talk about later as well, that the whole idea that you actually get full and you learn what being hungry is. But anyway, that's where I started. I started with getting full racks, bringing them home, butchering them up, and I'm a big fan of about 1.5 inch thick cut. So I was getting about 12 steaks per 12 to 14 steaks per rack. Trimmed all the beef fat and suet and used that for making beef tallow. I'm a kind of person, and I'm sure there's a lot of you as well. When you go to do something, you just go do it, right? You got to go all in. I'm not the sort of 10% kind of guy. I'm either all or nothing. Sometimes that's a blessing. Sometimes that's a curse. In this case, I think it was a blessing. I wanted to do this. So that's where I started. And I also got a hold of some grass-fed ground beef. And yeah, that's what I did. So it wasn't too long after that I'm telling you, within like the first 2 weeks, I could not believe how much inflammation had left my system. My mobility factor was night and day. So much so that I could tell you that the one day I woke up and I got really emotional because I thought, are you kidding me? This whole time I didn't know that this was possible, right? I mean, again, people tell you all the time that eating healthy is the thing that you need to do, right? That's like, no shit. But it's not easy. And I think a lot of the reasons that changing my nutritional path failed for me in the past is because I didn't do enough homework on it. I didn't know the why. I had just done things for losing weight, right? And I think that if you're just eating for aesthetics, that's a big mistake. I don't think that the likeliness of you being successful at that is minimal. I mean, at some point when you've trained yourself and you've gotten into a habit, I think that's good, right? I think you'll be in the right mindset to be able to succeed, and maybe aesthetics becomes a later on down the road type of focus. I mean, bodybuilders have their agenda, right? Fat loss, getting lean, trimming for shows, etc. Athletes, they have their goals. Maybe it's performance, strength training, etc. Those are really good. But before you could even think like that, if you're feeling like shit, if you have different skin conditions, gut issues, inflammation, brain fog, I mean, the list goes on of these things that have improved for me. And within 2 weeks, I felt that difference. Let me be honest with you. If you're trying this, right, if you give this a whirl, you're going to find that within that first 2 to 3 weeks, and all the people are going to tell you about this, all the experts in this space, your gut's going to go through a change. You're going to get the bubblies, right? You're gonna have to run to the bathroom a few times. That is your body transitioning and getting rid of what it shouldn't have in it, and it is preparing you to eat healthy and preparing you for what will finally be your body recognizing the food that you eat as a resource for energy. Not just this, sort of luxury thing, or indulgent item that makes you feel crappy later. And man, by the way, a big fuck you to whoever created food that tastes so incredible. I mean, I'm such a fan of a ring ding, like they call them. That's been a thing for me since I'm a kid, right? Fuck you to the people who created that, because it serves no nutritional value. It's so bad for you, but yet it exists, and the sugar we are addicted to the sugar. We want more. Yeah, that sucked. Anyway, I'm in a place now where I don't think about that anymore. I don't crave foods. I mean, I look forward to the next meal for sure when I get hungry, but I no longer see somebody eating pizza or pasta and think to myself, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? This is so hard. After about 3 to 4 weeks of going carnivore, and I should admit that I went extreme carnivore in the beginning. I'm probably slightly dirty carnivore because every once in a while I do have some fruit or some honey, just as like a sort of little introduction to things. People are gonna, the extreme carnivores go nuts a little bit over that. But here's the thing: I have gotten myself to a place where I believe that every so often I introduce that, and it's something that I do enjoy. But I've changed my relationship with food entirely. It's no longer about eating for the sake of pleasure. I eat food as a resource now. I get pleasure from everything else that I'm able to do. So much has changed, guys, and a lot of people have told me that I should start a YouTube channel, that I should be doing, I should be sharing my story. So I've been stalling on that because the irony to that is that as I run a media-based company, I'm not the guy. I don't want to put myself. I'm not. Can't say I don't want to put myself out there. I'm good with that. It's this idea that I got to get over. I'm sure so many people who are also content creators understand this. It's not about. It's not like you don't want it to be all about you. The reason I'm doing this, the reason that I would want to make any content about this whatsoever, is because it has changed my life so much, that I want whoever I can get through to have the confidence to make the change for yourself. It's just a game changer, life changer. And so I don't know where this is going to go. It's funny because I've watched a bunch of people's first videos, and a lot of people say the same thing. I mean, I could easily draft up a plan of content to make and follow that, but I wanted to go by what was on my mind right now and share this with you. The progress has been incredible. My life has changed. My marriage is better. I enjoy going out and doing things actively now. Going to shows, not worried about whether or not the chair, the amount of anxiety you would have for wanting to go to a concert and then thinking I'm not going to fit in the chair. There was a time where I went to a restaurant in my hometown, and I was out with my whole team, and we were there, and the leg of a chair broke. Yeah, it literally happened to me. And of course, we laugh like as if we're laughing together, but I know that ain't the case. So if any of this is resonating with you, you feel free to message me, comment, and I will be happy to engage with you to talk about more of my experience. But about to arrive at the office and finish out the second part of my day here, but this was just something that I thought about and said, why the hell not, right? Let's make this video. Let's put it out there. So here's to being healthy. Here's to 14 months on carnivore. I've lost 140 pounds so far. I'm walking miles. Things are good, and I intend on them to continue to be good. So yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.